Join discord.gg/flat earth to join in the conversation about our Earth. Remember to get VC verified.
Enemy spotted.
Knobi.
Some of these groups, I've talked about this in here before. I'm part of these, like, I don't know what you want to call them,
Yeah.
freedom type groups, or like people that want to opt out of the system and like create.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So
Mhm.
voluntarists, I guess, would be like the ideal term. Like we think, like the principle is that all interactions should be voluntary.
Einfach Leute, die glauben, dass die Erde flach ist. Ich komme nicht drauf klar.
English, mate.
I just said that's really ridiculous that there are people that really believe that the Earth is flat. That's really stupid.
Okay.
Well, we
do you
feel the
have
same way.
Do you have any
Welcome, man.
scientific evidence that the Earth is a
Bro,
globe?
I don't want to discuss. I just here to laugh at you. That's everything I
Okay,
do.
good.
Mm.
Great.
Yeah.
So we
For a
can
change.
continue the conversation because you did chime in and interrupt. So if you want to give us some, even the slightest bit of evidence that the Earth is a
Huh?
globe. So can you bring that down to the surface where we live and can actually measure it and measure a curve on the surface? Pretty
I
logical. isn't it?
wasn't done with answering this question.
Answer his question.
I haven't listened to.
Answer his question.
Then repeat your question, please.
For a third time. If pictures
If
from
you
NASA
see
allegedly
pictures-
of the Earth are showing curvature of the Earth, can you measure that curvature here on the Earth?
Sure, you can measure the curvature of the Earth. That's what scientists do.
All right, go ahead,
Can-
Timo.
can we have an example
But
of
it's
that?
funny that I'm at the beginning said that I don't want to discuss this.
How do you measure
Well,
it?
So if you're here, you're gonna have to at least prove your point.
I've already
Yeah,
said that I'm
you're getting
here
away from the actual
listen to-
original. You're getting away from the original question too. So we said, you said you can measure it on the surface. So can we please have that measurement? And can you show us a example of that?
The thing is, I wanted to.
Okay, that wasn't an answer. How do you
Yeah.
measure the curvature?
Can you please stop mute?
No. If I don't get answers, I'm just going to keep muting you.
Yo, you have
Because
the
you can get
reflexes to mute.
critics and you.
We need the measurements. That's all we need from
What's the
you.
critic?
We don't need any of this other bullshit that you're bringing to us. Just the measurements. What are they?
We know we're funny to you and
Measurements,
ignorant.
like
just prove
metric
us wrong.
system. I think the metric system is way better than the one used in the.
See, I was saying he was a moron. He's a
The
moron.
I mean, the metric system is better. We should really only have 10 hours in a day.
No, I prefer the Egyptian inch.
What is a kilometer?
Use whatever units you want and just measure some drop over distance of the ground. Who's done it?
Yeah.
Can I measure it in bananas? That's the best measure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead and measure it in bananas. Show us whoever measured
Oh my
the curvature of
God.
the Earth in bananas.
How many bananas per 1,000 banana?
I would say that's a lot of bananas. But
right.
bananas.
Yeah, he just said it was 1,000. That's why you're a moron.
Well, his input is useless. Let's just keep him on mute.
Why are all the bananas parallel?
I mean, does he even know what the claim of the dimensions of the globe is?
I don't think he's even willing to have
What
that
I haven't
conversation.
understand you.
The claimed radius of the globe.
The claimed
know it?
radius of the globe is like 6,000 kilometers, I think. The Umfang, I don't know it in English, is 40,000 kilometers. Yep.
You're pretty close for a glober.
You mean you're pretty close for a person who believes in science?
Science.
What's science?
Science.
Yo, can I say something? Most people
for it.
here have higher education than you can ever achieve. We're talking about pilots, mathematicians, you name it, man. People that put their hands on the work, and you should know that people here are not just come from a cave thinking about this. They come to a conclusion, logical conclusion, which you're not
I don't
following
know
'cause
if
you're just
that's really logical to believe that the Earth is flat.
Okay, I got a
No.
question. How old are you, man? How
I'm
old are you?
19.
Fuck, that explains it all,
Figures.
doesn't it?
He's
Why are
still
you so
retarded right
rude?
now. It's okay.
Guys, you're all so rude. That's really not great.
Well, the
That
only
brings
person
Man, you
a
came
that
first.
the only
brings a
person
black
that's rude,
shadow on this community. Really,
the only
I thought
person
you.
that's rude is you, because you came in like
No.
a dickhead, and you're still being a
Yes,
dickhead.
I've
So
said that believing in the flat Earth is stupid, but
not a
I'm
belief;
It's
it's
not.
not
an
believe,
observation.
my friend. It's
Hmm?
An
not believe.
observation,
It's
Can you
dude.
knowing.
explain to
You
us how
guys believe.
science
You
proves that
believe
the
that
Earth
we
is a globe? Can you...
fucking wobbling, tilting, spinning up in fucking space, in a vacuum of space. That's believing. You believe that it's a fucking curvature. There's no curve, my friend. The only thing is curving is your fucking head.
Why you always have problems with the vacuum in space? That makes total sense.
Well, so you don't even know your own model. You don't even know your own model. Hold on.
I
Sorry,
know my
Let me
own
let me
model.
do something real quick.
So
I'm a
what's the
dumb flat earther.
what?
What's the curvature of
Explain.
the Earth? Just what's the
What again?
curvature of the globe?
You mean the
How,
what's the word?
how much bananas per
Sniffers.
square banana?
I don't know. That's something I would Google. But explain to me why you. Hmm?
So do you believe everything Google says?
Not everything. No, I believe what scientists say or what the schools
Okay,
tell
what
me.
do scientists say?
Yeah.
What do you mean exactly? The scientists
What do they
say
say?
that
You
the
just said I believe
globe
what
is.
they say. So what
Yeah,
do they say?
they say that the Earth is a globe.
So
Which
is that a
science?
scientific question or a geometric question?
Sorry, I'm
What do
gonna
you?
interrupt. Scientists say
Well,
it's an
let him
oblique
answer.
spheroid.
Let him answer that question.
Yeah.
Is it a scientific
But
question or a
I've
geometric
had
question?
one question in the
Is it
1
scientific
minute
or
ago.
geometric?
I've wanted to know.
The shape of something.
Is it
Is that a scientific
scientific?
inquiry or a geometric one?
Again, what?
Oh my god.
Perhaps
The
it's
shape,
something.
scientific or geometric?
Perhaps I don't know what geometric is in German. But you can explain it to me in simpler terms, perhaps.
You know what
Okay,
geometry is?
I know what
Geo
geometry
means,
is.
geo means earth, metric
Okay.
means measure.
So is it a
Well,
question of geometry? Or is it a question of science?
That's a weird question. I mean,
This is way over this dude's head.
that is.
Well, the
It's a yes
problem
or
is
no
you
question.
Wait.
It's
The globe.
it's a
That's
one or the other.
that's I mean, it's what's this, a ball like, and that's a figure in
What-
geometry. But
what
the methods to discover it is scientific. I would say
they're not.
geometry is scientific as well.
so-
I
so
mean,
can
it's
you-
like math and stuff. So
Cool.
you could
So
say it's
can you
scientific.
describe?
But
So you
I've
said
had
there's
like a question in the past. I've had
So
a
you-
question in the past where I said I don't understand what's the problem with vacuum in space, and I
Yeah,
wanted to
you go ahead, Napalm. You take this,
yeah,
mate.
yeah. So
Yeah.
so you said
explain.
there's scientists that deal with the question. So it's a question of geometry, but then there's scientists that measure it. What branch of science deals with measurement?
Firstly, I want to know what's the problem with vacuum in space.
We're talking about curvature, dude. Why are you talking about a vacuum?
Because
we haven't even
that's
gotten
a
there yet.
topic which came
We
up
haven't even left the
with-
surface yet.
No, that's
Yes. Surface, eins. Vacuum, zwei.
okay. Then
They're
we
good?
go to gravity.
Yeah.
So
nine. Curvature, eins.
I can explain why
Vacuum,
it's
zwei.
100% that
Gravity,
the Earth
drei.
is a globe.
Sehr gut. Das ist sehr gut. Nein. Ja. Ja und nein.
Ja, genau. Das ist sehr gut. Genau. Ja.
Sehr gut.
Sehr gut. Bisschen
Curvature.
Deutschkurs,
Where?
so.
Volcanisch.
So you like logic, right?
Let's speak about the surface, right? So we're talking about curvature, and you said that science has proved the curvature of the Earth. What branch of science has dealt with that?
Easily prove
Can you give me
that
specifics?
Earth is a globe by thinking about that that there's gravity, and
No, you can't. You can't prove anything a thought experiment, right? Thought
You
experiments
can
don't prove
prove
anything.
gravity
So we can
with
sit here and think about,
experiments.
how My Little Pony is better than Care Bears, but it doesn't make it any type of, actual thing, right? Because My Little Pony and Care Bears are just
When you would
fictitious
let me
characters.
talk, I would easily tell you why that's a proof for the globe model, but you're always muting me because you can't stand me talking too long.
I didn't
Because then
mute you,
the
bud.
whole model collapses.
So go ahead. So one quick sentence, you let me know where the curvature was measured. Go ahead.
So now I talk about why it's.
Where the curvature was measured. Focus.
I don't want to go into your.
Because you
Where
can't.
the curvature was measured. Focus.
Number one. Numero uno.
Let me talk how
curvature.
You can talk if you're answering the question. If not, you're going back on mute. Then we'll just try asking you again. So, how was the curvature measured?
I want to talk to you like us.
So, how was the curvature measured?
An easy way to see that the Earth is a globe is by looking at gravity. Gravity.
So, how was the curvature measured?
You don't even.
How
nobody
many
even knows what gravity
times-
is. You are not
Yeah,
at the
and-
level of having a conversation about gravity. Trust me.
Yeah,
Is
and
it like
Trust me when I
came
say
to-
that you do not have the intellectual ability
Tell
to have a
me
conversation
when you
about
have
gravity right
when
now.
you have.
So let's just
They
talk about
actually-
something very simple,
No,
which would be curvature.
They actually
Can you do
Explain why-
measurements? Are you able
Not
to do a
really.
measurement? Do
No,
you
not
understand what a
really.
measurement
came up
is?
with the globe
You-
before they came up with gravity. So
you like.
how did they come up with the globe in the first
You
place?
gave me like
dude?
1,000 questions, and I want to
I
ask a
asked you
question as
one
well.
specific question. Do you know how to do a measurement?
I want to only have one question to you now, Palmo.
But we're asking you a
Do
question right now.
you know how to do a measurement? I'll slow it down.
I know how to do a measurement. You can have a lot of measurement. What's the word in English? Geräte. I don't know, Geräte, which you can
Sure.
use. There are a lot of measurements. I think you
Yes.
mean measurements in terms of length. So
Direct measurements.
No, how
Sure.
long?
Sure. We can talk
Sorry.
length. Over specific length, what would you expect the rate of drop to be over that specified length based on your idea, your fairy tale that the earth is a globe?
can you repeat that, please? I haven't understand you.
You can give me any length you want
Length?
and then tell me the drop over that length that you would expect to see based on the globe model.
I can Google what the drop should be, but I don't have it in my head.
You came here to debate and you don't even know that.
I
All
didn't
of us
came here to
No,
debate.
listen,
So-
I'm sorry.
You
So it's-
you
so
wanted
it's
to
simple-
debate.
top of their
I
head.
didn't came here to debate.
It should be
But
pretty
the
simple,
problem
right?
is when we want to debate, you're the one which needs to disprove the big
So
system.
let's say we know the drop over distance, right? How would we measure it, right? Because if we're claiming that the Earth has a radius of 3,959 miles, if that's our claim, then we would expect to see relatively 8 inches per mile squared of drop over distance. That would be directly at the surface, right?
When we are on
when we're doing this measurement at the
on a
surface,
flat
that's what we
Earth.
would expect to see. So when has this been done and how have you confirmed that this measurement has taken place?
I haven't listened to you because
Then we're not going to listen to you.
Bro, like if you can't listen to my questions, then what's the point of having a conversation with you? Are you here? What are you here for? Let me ask you that. What is your intention to be here?
He said it when he came to laugh at us.
Could you please
to laugh at us?
stop
Cool. So-
muting?
No.
So what
If you want to
if we want to start
muted.
laughing at people, we could go to gravity and then we could all have a real good chuckle at you.
You'll be muted until you answer.
Yeah,
the
please,
questions,
let's
mate.
go to gravity. I wanted this the whole time. So
So you're
Right.
going to fold on the
Scientific-
curvature measurements then?
So no curvature measurements. We got
no
that.
curvature
All right.
measurements. Let's stay
No
let's stay
curvature
on curvature.
measurements. Can
So
we
no one
please
ever
have a
measured the globe?
scientific experiment of gravity.
Huh? Okay, so
Can we please have
when you
a
have
scientific experiment of gravity?
yes, so the thing is, what flat earthers say all the time about gravity, that it's
No,
more
no, no, no,
about
no, 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 no. Hold on, hold on, hold on, buddy. We're not going to
Scientific
start with
experiment.
you. Yeah, we're not going to start with you straw manning us as to what we say. We can answer if you have a
it's not a
specific
straw
question.
man.
So the
But
people in the room can answer if you have a specific question regarding what we actually feel or believe or understand. Okay, so
Yep.
let's not start with that presupposition.
let me talk.
Go ahead and explain the scientific experiment that proves your gravity.
So, so you need to distinguish gravity from the density which holds things on the ground. You can simply do that by having two cylinders
Scientific
with a vacuum.
experiment for gravity,
and
man.
you
Scientific
can let me
experiment
talk. I let
for
you talk. You
gravity.
let me talk. You
No,
mute me the
we
whole
don't
time.
need
Let
your
me talk.
explanations. We just need a scientific experiment for gravity. That's all we want.
I tried
We
to
know what
explain.
we know. You're 19 years old, mate. So
Yes.
we know exactly what you know and more. So we're just waiting.
Okay.
You don't need to explain gravity to us. We already know it.
You wanted to
So if
me to
you can,
explain it, and
if you can
I've
give us a
wanted to.
scientific
Yes,
experiment of gravity, that would be
I've
great.
wanted to
That's
tell you
all
an
we want.
experiment, but the problem is you
Great.
won't let me talk. It's the thing.
No, just give us one.
Yeah, so you have an experiment
Yes, I have.
for gravity?
Yeah, let me talk.
Okay, give me the hypothesis, independent variable, and dependent variable.
So,
Hypothesis first.
I don't want to focus on you. I want to say.
No hypothesis?
I don't think he knows what an experiment is.
What?
Nope.
Do you know what an experiment is? Like a scientific
I've did a
experiment?
lot of experiments.
Okay,
Please.
cool. So what is the first step? What do we start with within a scientific
First,
experiment?
you have a hypothesis.
Cool. So what's that? What's that for your gravity? Let's start there. Eins.
Why do things stay on ground? Is the question you have at the beginning. Now you need to look at scientific methods to prove or to look why it's like that. So make hypothesis like the density of things is more than the density of the air. That's why things stay on ground. An experiment to disprove this is by having two cylinders with full vacuum, like not full vacuum, like 99%, it should be enough. Or like having one with vacuum and without vacuum, that would be better. And now you have two similar balls. And one cylinder, you let the ball drop, that one without the vacuum. And in the other one, you let it drop too. And now you see that the ball without the air in it will also fall on the ground. So now you know that's not the density.
Right.
And there should be something else. And that's gravity.
So since they both fall, it's not density. Can you explain that a little bit further, right? Because we have air in one and a vacuum in another. So we've evacuated as much. Just let me finish for a second.
Yes.
So
but
we've
you won't
evacuated
let me
as much.
finish too.
We just let you talk for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's okay. Talk.
So you have a cylinder that has evacuated air. So you've got, in effect, a vacuum. And then you have just a regular cylinder with a regular amount of air. So you've changed the density of the medium and still both things fall. So how does that prove that density is not the case, right? So have we tried to increase the density of the medium?
When you increase the density of the medium, that won't make any difference in the hypothesis, because the thing you want to disprove is that density has an impact or has an or without density difference you won't have a thing which falls on the ground. But because you have this cylinder without air, you go away from the difference between air and the ball. So now you have the
So then let's think about this logically. Hold on, let's start here. So we have air and we have a vacuum.
Yes.
So there's a difference in the density between these two, and the ball still falls down. So the difference between the density of the air and the ball, and the difference between the density of the vacuum and the ball, is not that big of a difference. So
The
why
thing
is that our
is-
test as to what the effect of density is?
The thing is, you need to get a force on the ball to push it on the
Force?
ground.
Is gravity a force?
Right, so-
we'll stay on our experiment topic, okay? So that's a simple explanation.
Yeah, but have you
need
done
to
this experiment or not?
I've seen it in school.
Have you? Can you post
Okay.
it?
Timbo, what?
Can you post it?
I haven't filmed it.
So go ahead. So now we're doing what with this experiment?
So when there's nothing else impacting the ball should be on the place it started, because it has no
Yeah.
direction which it can get to. But when you have
Okay, so-
something else impacting the ball, it should go in this direction. And because of gravity, you have this impact, and it goes to the ground.
So the place in which it started. So with this experiment, you expect the ball to where was the ball residing prior to the
I
experiment?
think I'm gonna start paint and show it to you like that, because I can't stream.
No, it's okay. You
Okay.
can just articulate it, because the problem that you're having here is that you've imparted energy into a ball to raise it above where it naturally has its equilibrium. Where does the ball naturally reside if we did not rise it up above the
When
ground?
there's no force impacted on the ball stays on its position.
On the ground. Okay, so
on
it stays
its
on the
position,
ground.
No, on its
So-
position.
so what
not
force caused it to go upward?
No, not on the ground. To let it stay on the ground, you need a force. 9.8
Why?
something
Do you think
Newton.
it just float? Do you think it just float or something?
Without force, it should
hold on.
float. Yes.
So you think 9.8 meters per second squared, the acceleration, the agreed upon average of acceleration that objects have in a vacuum towards the surface of the Earth. So you think that agreed upon average, that number, 9.8 meters per second squared, do you think that's gravity?
Yes. Like I said before.
So you think just an acceleration is a gravity? That is the effect that we are measuring, right? So when we drop objects, when we vary the densities in which we're dropping the objects, they can actually move slower as they progress towards the ground, right? So we do have density that's causing the 9.8 meters per second squared to get much slower, right? If we put the object in air, and then if we put it in water, and then if we put it in like an oil. And when the more we increase the density, the smaller that number is going to get. So we see this effect, meaning that objects within a vacuum fall at an average of 9.8 meters per second squared. So that's the effect. So what is the cause of that effect?
And think to explain it a little simpler, you need to really just focus on the cylinder and have everything else removed. So when you have the cylinder with the ball in the middle without anything in it, there is nothing where it should go to. There's no ground, there is nothing. So it should stay in the middle. No, when you add,
what are you talking about? We have never experienced that ever in the natural world. So what would lead you to believe that it should just reside in the middle?
That's
I was going to say
with the vacuum.
One sec, mate. I was going to say you're missing an integral part of your so-called experiment, and the first step of an experiment is. Do you know what it is?
He had a hypothesis.
Yes,
natural phenomenon.
Yeah. Yep. And the natural phenomenon he displayed within his hypothesis is things staying on the ground. And what is the cause of things staying on the ground?
I'm gonna try it one more time to explain it. It's really I do my best right here. Okay, it's really hard. It's quite funny, but it's hard to
funny
explain it
because
to
you
you.
don't know what
I try to explain it one more time in really simple terms. Okay, so
Buddy, do you think we don't comprehend what you're saying? Do you think you need to slow it down for us?
Yes,
that's quite hilarious, because it's actually the opposite way around. Because you're not actually answering my questions. You think that just dropping these two things somehow shows, buddy, you don't need to talk over me. So you're thinking that just dropping two objects somehow then proves what the cause of that effect is.
It proves
But you
that
have not, buddy, when I'm talking, that's your turn to wait, right? I wait for you to speak. And then when you're done, I speak. Okay, that's the way a conversation works. Now, it's funny that you think you need to slow things down when you don't even understand how a basic conversation works. So I go, then you go. Okay, you got that? Perfect. So when you drop things in two different cylinders, you are not proving the cause of an effect that you are seeing. When you see something drop and you want to know what the cause is, you would need to manipulate the cause in order to prove that it is the cause of the effect.
Right.
What do you think is the cause of things falling down? You say gravity. So what in this experiment did you manipulate that you think gravity is? You changed the density and it caused things to drop at two different rates. So are you saying density is gravity?
Can I talk now? What I wanted to show.
Before you go ahead, which gravity as well? Just before you go ahead, just to clarify for the audience, which gravity are you talking about?
Let's stay on the first
No,
topic
just
before
it's a
we
simple
switch.
question.
No,
It's a simple
let
question.
me talk
No.
like
You're not running this.
Timbo,
not
I
your
don't think
server.
he can't get past mass attracting mass. He still thinks that's
Yeah,
gravity.
true.
So would you really want to try to have a conversation about the bending and warping of
I
space-time with this guy?
don't with this experiment, yeah. It doesn't.
It's not
It's an experiment. Oh, what was the independent variable and dependent variable? Oh, and by the way, let me just
Density.
get this in there real quick. You've already conceded on the globe. You already folded and admitted that you don't have any measurements of curvature. So at best, all you're arguing for is gravity on a flat Earth now. So go ahead.
So yeah,
Can I
so
talk now?
what did you manipulate in between the cylinders? Only the density.
Yes, and
So what did
that's
that
what I
prove?
want to disprove. Not to prove its gravity specifically. With this experiment, you disprove that its density, what you flat earthers believe is the cause of objects falling. Because
Nobody
you
said
don't
it's the
have
cause of objects falling.
You said its density.
No, I did not. I
And what
never
is
said
it?
that, which is why when you first started this
What
whole
is it?
entire conversation, I said, do not strawman any of us in this room into claiming that we said something if we
Okay,
didn't
what
say
is
it.
it
So if you
then?
have a question, then you need to address the room and then we can answer that. Instead, what you have done is strawmanned us into claiming that we think that gravity is density. That's
What
not
is it
the
then?
case. Incoherent electrostatic acceleration towards a null pressure point. Would you like to discuss that?
You mean like the electric differences in the molecules and atoms?
Nope.
You
Similar
mean
to that.
dipole? Do you mean dipole Formalladungen, stuff like that? We can really discuss this shit. Right here.
Yeah. Do you want to? Okay. So
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you know
we have
that objects are neutrally charged. Like
what does that
objects
mean?
like
What is a neutral charge? First of all,
when
let's
you
define charge. Because do you think there's such a thing as a negative charge? That you have what would be a negative charge?
electrons are negatively charged. They are formal charges. I don't
So
know.
what's the
English
opposite
word.
of a charge? If it's negatively charged, what is
Positively charged?
No. Charge is a thing. So if you're saying we have charge and then we don't have charge, what is the opposite of charge?
You have negative charge and you have positive charge. Those are opposite things.
Can you define what the difference is between those two things?
Bro. What do you mean, like the difference between those things?
What do you mean when you say something is positively charged and you say something is negatively charged?
That it's electronically charged. When you want, you can explain what exactly an electronic charge means.
Everything is charged. Everything has charge.
Yes, everything has charge, but it's not really to the outside.
Neutral to what? Neutral is a relative term.
Like when you have something like, I don't know, when you touch your body, yeah?
Dude, we don't need to talk about what you do in your spare time in the live stream, Brett.
Okay, when you think about touching your hands, about that, it's up to you, but I mean something completely different. I mean, when you touch your hands or something, you don't get a shock from it. That means it's neutral. You have carbon atoms. You consists mostly of carbon. So when you touch your hands, there's no yeah.
Is this getting
No,
to
no.
the shape of the Earth or not?
No,
He
it's not going to get there. This
no, no,
dude
no,
doesn't
no.
even
We
understand what he's
talk
he
talk
already gave.
about
Hey Timbo, he already gave up on that. He already admitted he had no measurements for the globe, so he's
we
just
started
yeah. You're
at
just rambling
gravity.
nonsensically
No,
at this
no,
point. You're trying to figure out what gravity is and make some sort of an argument for it, and that's failing too.
no. He wanted to talk with me about electronic charges, and
Okay.
that's the cause
Well,
of gravity.
you wanted to make a
And
claim about gravity.
I want to talk about
I did
that's
not say
not
that
the cause.
electric charges were the cause of gravity.
What
So
is
you're straw manning
then?
me.
No, then repeat. What is it then?
I said it's incoherent electrostatic acceleration.
Okay, then explain.
Are you
what
familiar
you
with
mean by that.
the universal law of gravitation?
Explain what you
Newton's
mean
law?
by what you said.
Are you familiar with Newton's universal law of gravitation?
You need to explain what you mean by what you said with electronics.
Electrostatics.
Yeah, electrostatic. Please, just
Yeah. What about it?
say yeah. You explain what exactly is the cause of things pushing each other in English
Going down. It's the same thing that causes
I'm calm.
everything to
It's
move.
just
right?
just that my English goes to its borders.
sure.
You know,
It's
but
pressure
that's
mediation.
cool.
Is what
That's
it's pressure
no.
mediation that's taking place. Do you want to
No,
listen, or do you just want to tell me no?
I want to explain to you that's a really good education for English for me because that's good. That's good. It pushes my English to the borders. So no, you wanted to explain to me how electrostatic differences makes things.
Did I say an electrostatic difference makes
Then
things move? Did I say
just
that?
explain how this works.
You obviously don't want me to talk because you keep interrupting me to not allow me to explain it.
Explain.
Right. So, do we have a charge difference as we get further away from the surface of the Earth?
Why should you have a charge difference?
That's a good question. Why do we measure a difference in voltage as we increase from the surface of the Earth? Maybe that's the question you should ask.
Yeah, explain.
Why do we have that?
Yeah, hang on, Napalm. 1 second, guys. I'm going to come in with a point of moderation real quick for the gentleman coming in. This server is concerned with people thinking that the Earth is a globe, and also why it is that people think that the Earth is in movement, rotation on its axis, and also why that people think that there is the vacuum of space adjacent to the pressure air that we breathe right now. So this right now, this is going off into a bit of what we called into the weeds. And so we don't want to get people bogged down with this idea that this gentleman hasn't presented a case forward for
We already
if
talked
it is
about
or
that.
is not. Yeah, I know that, but therefore everything is moot. If there's a conversation that's going to proceed out of this, and you guys want to have that, it could probably go into another challenging room. This one right now.
All right, I'll leave. Peace out, guys. Have a good night.
Later. See ya. Have a good one.
Mayhem, the thing is, we talked about gravity.
Damn, Mayhem, you
which
couldn't
is-
have
Why are
worse
you interrupting me again? Why are you interrupting me?
He's a moderator. He can interrupt you if he wants.
nigga,
But that's
I'm about to
just
mute
rude.
you. I know you heard me talking.
Gude, dann
Yeah,
mute
Biggie,
me when you
like I
don't want
said.
me to talk because what I talk is the truth.
Dude,
How
shut
about
up!
how about I just kick you out?
Sorry, Eli. Go ahead.
That was terrible timing. I was just about to answer him, saying probably because there are less gas particles up there.
Yeah, I know, but there's another point being raised, which it could go off into another portion of the
I
reason
mean, I
why
just
there's-
wanted to say it could be this or that. There's no need to affirm the consequence. There's a teachable moment there, but whatever.
What is your profession?
See, old friend,
I brought more soldiers than you did.